Join us for an enlightening experience where you will gain a deeper understanding of the purpose and essence of opening your eyes. This is your chance to enhance self-awareness and personal growth with a shift in perception that provides a fresh outlook on life. Embrace the journey from consciousness to superconsciousness by Barrett Kunyan.
Well, here we are once again, and we have our beautiful soul brother, Rick Jewers. Welcome to the Bioactivator platform. It's such an honor to have you here, brother, as always. Thank you for showing up, because we know how busy you are with other commitments. Rick, I just want to thank you again, once again, because not that long ago, you put a fascinating, interesting, stimulating post, which hence here we are to break it down with some interesting, juicy questions. For viewers out there, it will be based on the title of our topic today. Discussion will be Beyond Human, Encounter with an Ascended Master. So, Rick, thank you for showing up. And let's put that question up.
You're so
There we
welcome.
go. So that's the hot topic of our discussion today. Beyond Human and an Encounter with an Ascended Master. And before I hand over the mic to Rick, let's just remind our viewers post that Rick made less than a week ago on Facebook, social media. And as always, honored to read your statement, Brother Rick. You put here, I am a very powerful empath, a pain taker, a Christ. My empathic and telepathic ability far exceeds that of any human. I'm not of this world. I don't invade your minds or thoughts, and neither do I need to, although I can, for I feel them. I read all energy and energetic expressions, and nothing can be hidden from me. It continues. I am genuine, sincere, and loyal, and I fully know my mission on earth. I read body language as well as I feel it, and I know what fears you may still have in your heart, for it is my divine duty to know this and assist where I may. And you conclude by saying, I am an ascended master and more, just not the human version and expectation of what an ascended master may be. I am one with Prime Creator Father, and my intent is always good and genuine. I am only light. There is no darkness within me. I may act stupid sometimes to bait up the darkness left within one. And the actual darkness itself, sometimes the demons, to vanquish and eradicate from this reality, cleaning it up and preparing this reality for the new world. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate that statement. So we've prepared for you, Brother Rick, 5 juicy questions, if we may, and we present the first one. So I shall read it to you. It goes like this: Given your unique empathic and telepathic abilities, how do you balance the immense flow of emotions and thoughts from others while maintaining your own equilibrium and focus on your mission?
Thank you. An excellent question. What I wish to say to explain what occurs is that, if you will, my auric field on the outside of the field, this is what reads and registers everything. So for the most part, I'm neutral at the center, reading what others are energetically projecting and feeling, if you will. Now, this is with the empathic abilities. With the telepathic abilities, it is the direct energetic connection, if you will, to ones through all time and space. So, with this, let me just read a little bit more there. It's a little bit dim. So, with this, it's not more so, let's say, a requirement to balance. It's reading the energy here and then applying whatever divine energetic remedies need to be applied or given to the individual. But now, having said this, during, let's say, the assisting one on one, if you will, what occurs is a transaction of energy. So when you give one the higher perspective and higher light, if they're able to hold that and they raise up, there is an exchange of fear and doubt energy that comes into I that I automatically transmute. And within my field, it's set up to do that. So those are two ways that it works with I. Let me just read the last of your question. So that, yeah, and focus on my mission. So maintaining my equilibrium is usually quite simple. There are times, yes, that it can be very inundating, but still my composure for the most part is held as there is a very rapid transmuting process that is going on at changing the dense energy and purifying it to the least so that when it goes back out into reality, it no longer contains the density that it had. Um, and the focus on the mission is imprinted into all that I am. So it doesn't need to be a concentration, a focus. The mission is I. So it's here already.
Thank you, Brother Rick. Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
next question we have. Right, you mention your ability to read all energy and energetic expressions, which implies a profound sensitivity to the world around you. Could you share a particularly impactful experience where this ability allowed you to affect a significant positive change in someone's life or environment?
Yeah, well, partially what I answered in the last question when I said about what I take from one, if you will, and then there is the upliftment. But also with this at times, I am a divine specialist. And when anyone comes into my field to assist, it means they are important to whatever degree it may be. And it does mean they play a significant divine role on the planet for whatever it may be. So during the course of this, there are times that I will be able to say to one, if they divinely need to raise, I'll be able to say something to them that happened to them that they never told anyone, and that no one should ever know about it. So when I say that, then it also is an accreditation, and they will raise up, very quickly and instantly as a result of that. Sometimes there is a reconciliation period where they need to digest what had occurred, and there is sometimes a questioning, how did he know this, if you will? But nevertheless, that does occur. And if you're asking for a particular one constantly, I am doing this also individually and also with the energetic environment as a whole. As an example, and also Femke and I, we work together as a peer with this. So, Femke is the high feminine, and I am the high masculine energy on the planet. So, by two of us being together, utilizing the great love that Femke has and my attributes together, what we do is we reconcile the energy very quickly. And as a result, sometimes when we are doing this, if you're around to observe the environment, the clouds or the night sky, you will see it begin to turn purple. Or if it's in the daytime, you will see the clouds begin to turn pink in the middle of the day as well. And these are, and Femke's infamous at doing this with her great prowess. Um, so it is constant. And when you look over the last few days, what's been occurring for many, there was a heavy weight, a heavy density, because what we are also doing is we are calibrating the electromagnetic field of the planet, of Gaia, of the Earth. And during the course to do that, we introduce a higher magnetic from the sun at times, and once that's integrated, then we have the higher electric. And so the higher electric just came in, let's say, in less than the last 24 hours, two significant electrical X flares to balance out the high magnetism that was given from the emissions several days ago. So, having said this, what we also do, I think this pertains to what you asked. Yeah, so we're constantly taking the density. See, energy, how will I say this? Energy needs to be reconciled, the density of it. It needs to be purified. So there are times when I do pitch in at purifying the collective density. And yeah, so pretty much we got quite a wind of change out there, a lot of energy moving around currently. Yeah. So pretty much I think that answers what you asked.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You're
Right.
welcome.
Third question. As an ascended master with a mission on Earth, how do you perceive your role in the upcoming transition to a new world? What specific actions or teachings do you believe are most crucial in preparing humanity for this shift?
Thank you. With this, as an ascended master, and what I need to say, I'm not alone upon the planet. There are many ascended masters and many others that play the role in converging to take this full mission to fruition. So, and right at this point, other divine comrades and delegates, if you will, are at various stages of their uh, planetary development into more of their mastery, and it all comes hand in hand as we go forward. So, if you're asking how do I perceive my role in the upcoming transition to a new world, well, I know with conviction and absoluteness what that role is, and it is to transition the entire planet. So that is a simple mission, and the focus remains on taking that forward and everything that it involves and all of the energetic attributes involved with doing it. So you ask what specific actions or teachings do you believe are most crucial in preparing humanity for the shift? Well, we're working, all of creation is energy, and this is what we're working with. Even consciousness is energy. So it's important to know, as we uplift the vibration of the planet, the consciousness uplifts as well. The perspectives begin to change. So there are fear actions which create lower density energy, if you will, in a negative spin. And then there are the full trust, love, and peace and gratitude energies, which are the pure and are virtuous based. So, to keep it simple for once, there is virtue, which is the highest that takes you forward, and the non virtue has you imploding into a negative tailspin until, if you are to come out of it, things will become so negative, you'll become so inundated that you will realize that something is happening, that this world is not as it seems, if you will. Then you wake up and realize you are doing something wrong. Now, of course, there's the whole journey involved in that as one's keep upstepping, upscaling their self on the ladder of purity, which is also the ascension ladder. So, in you ask, in preparing humanity for the shift, all of these things come into play. So constantly, I will put out teachings at certain times when I recognize certain energetic themes that are coming into play, that they are prevalent themes worldwide. If you take a victimhood theme, if you will, when that comes up, then what we do is apply the teaching and the remedy to it as well. But it needs to be understood that it depends on where one is at in their victimhood. If they are not ready to receive the information to master their victimhood, then they remain in it. So there is the variance with these. So what we do is, at any given time, there may be the victimhood theme. We apply the remedy. There may be some that raise out of the victimhood with their mastery, but there may be some that remains. But with this, we are in a looping spiral, meaning that we will revisit that victimhood topic again after the victim one has imploded for a while and saw how they must master this and must not be a victim again. Then when we spiral back, that theme becomes current again, then they are more receptive at listening, and then they advance upward. So what we do is constantly, also what I need to say with this overall ascension, there are several waves of consciousness and also going through their processes of purity. So, having said this, what we need, what I do at times, is that I teach all levels, the highest level of consciousness, the first waver, right down to what you would call, let's say, the fifth or sixth wave of one's just awakening, and also the ones not awakened. Sometimes I'll dip down and interject some information, but it's energized to break this up so they begin to rise up as well with the overall planetary ascension. So it's many things, what I do all at once, if you will, in that respect. So the teachings and the actions as well. Quickly with the actions, we also do energetic activations, that we have groups that are advanced into their knowing, that are working with energy, know how to work with it. Then as groups as well, we do, let's say, to keep it simple, transmuting of energy that creates a purer space for those other waves coming along to reside into. So it's already prepared for them, and it gives them like a putting their head up above water, as they begin their process. And then they can see, and they can see things that were not part of that old human world. Then they begin to realize, and it's through the experiences that it is imprinted into the consciousness, and it eradicates their doubt, which allows them to rise even further. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Next question. Your approach to interacting with darkness and negative energies by sometimes acting to bait them out is fascinating. Can you elaborate on how you discern when to use this tactic and how you ensure it leads to a positive outcome rather than reinforcing the negative energies you aim to eradicate?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say, it is always the positive outcome. We are omnipotent, we are multi-dimensional, and the negative dark entities that you're speaking about, they are only fourth dimensional. They cannot go to the fifth, sixth dimensional state. They were created in this fourth dimension, and they do not have the ability to go forward. So having said this, there are times that, let's say, trying to look for the best way to explain this without giving away too much detail, if you will, on how it's done. But let me first say that the darkness cannot resist anything that may look negative. So having said that, I will play the role of maybe looking like I'm negative as well, to bait up and to bring more of the revelations in, and let's say who is connected, what is connected to it. So then what you do, you have a trap set that you have, let's say, the darkness identified so that you can also reveal them later. But now let me say what has occurred overall upon the planet, with what has transpired over the last 3 years. Many of these darkness are already identified, because it's through a process that they are baited up, that they think they're invincible, if you will, and things occur that they cannot resist. And by them focused on their ill intent, they are distracted on that, and they don't know what's going on the outside, which is the trap, if you will. So I know this is kind of vague how I said it, but let me just read a little bit more of what you put here. Well, sometimes, let me say, there is a part about acting stupid. So sometimes, but it's also wise that you say very little, but also you also say things that will instigate as well to bring darkness to the surface, as well as with negative energies. And you say, can you elaborate on how you discern when to use this tactic and how you ensure it leads to a positive outcome? Well, anything that comes into my view, into my reality, it comes in for divine reasons. So through this, it is from my own inner knowing as an ascended master, and also at times from the direction from Mother and Father God at what to do and what to apply and how to respond, how to act in certain situations. With this, we love to be the most compassionate and lenient, but there are times as well that we must be stern, that some things are not acceptable. So the same application does not apply to all situations. It's customized to how you work with this. But it also needs to be understood on an individual soul's basis that they are given negative things to master, and it's a training with them. And very importantly, there is such a thing which is utilized is benevolent negativity. And I think we spoke about this in one of the first shows that we ever did when you asked what it is. They have to be subjugated to the negativity, certain ones, to be able to master it, to not let it control them. If they are able to be controlled by negativity, if you will, they're no good to the light because they would succumb to the density and the negativity. So during the process of this ascension, and for the ones that need to be, they are subjugated to negative experiences as well. But it's also their soul agreed to it to be part of their training, but their consciousness is oblivious to what is actually transpiring until they reach such a point, then where their consciousness, the veil has lifted, that their consciousness is able to reflect back and see, yeah, it was all happening for a reason, that they never were harmed, they never could be harmed, but they had to be subjugated to this to empower themselves with the mastery to overcome the control of these negative and dense experiences and situations. So also with this, there were, let's say, there's very few left with, I call them the remnants of the darkness, which are actually dark entities, assemblages, dark assemblages. And these do have a consciousness. They are nefarious energetic constructs. So at any given time with the ascension, there comes a time that they need to be taken out of the play. They no longer serve. So then we also have what is traps, if you will, set up to lure them in. And when they come in, then there is the creator, co-creator vanquishing, if you will, of these. And then they are eliminated from the plane and also cannot influence nor affect others in negative ways. So everything is divinely orchestrated as well. Now, there is two different applications. There is the, let's say, the demons that are actually not playing a role, a beneficial role. So they also have to be taken out of the play as we go forward. And this is what we do. Everything is divinely assured. And yeah, so no guesswork in this.
Thank you, brother. Our last question, Rick. Rick is fine. In your interactions with individuals who may be skeptical of your abilities and mission, how do you navigate those conversations? Do you find that your empathic and telepathic abilities offer you a unique advantage in bridging understanding, or do you employ other methods to communicate your sincerity and the authenticity of your mission?
Thank you. This is such a beautiful question. With this, you know, what I need to say is I'm a divine specialist, which means also there's customization to every individual situation and interaction with ones. But as I said previously, everything that comes for me, everyone, every experience, every situation is put before me for an important divine reason. So first you recognize that. And then what you also do is you need to evaluate the individual, where they're at, if it's an individual in their process. And having said this, one of my things, if I'm instructed to do, if you will, an energetic scan, it's done instantly and put into the consciousness what needs to be reconciled with the individual. But also, we're dealing with consciousness here. And again, it's the fear that keeps the consciousness lower within ones. So there are sometimes ones that you know what they need, you give them the remedy, but they don't listen. As I said when I was answering number 3, I think it was. So what you do is then you have to be patient and you have to wait and you have to let them go through at least another round of negativity until they're receptive. But the first time that there is that interaction and engagement, the seeds are planted with them, meaning that it may take several times before they get it, or it may only take once. But what's important is that the energetic seed is planted within them. Whatever, if it's a demon, it's planted within them to vanquish them at a certain point. If it's a divine soul, it's there to advance them to the degree that they are supposed to go with their divine role in their soul contract. So ones that are skeptical, out of my great compassion, I offer examples. And also, when ones are skeptical, there's small miraculous things or prophecies I'm able to put out at times that will accreditate the skepticism one may have, to uplift them, to at least for them to give I the benefit of the doubt as they begin to work on their own doubt, which is doubt is fear. And indeed, we are in, with this ascension, it's unprecedented. When you look at the times of Jesus, if you will, there were many that believed, but there were also many that did not believe, if you will, at that time. So we are still, if you will, somewhat experiencing that this time again, but this time it is different, and they do persevere and do ascend, because this is an unprecedented planetary ascension, which means that it's not one Jesus or Mother Mary to ascend, or a handful of the apostles and Buddha or whoever it may be. This is a planetary ascension, so the rules are different, if you will, this time. So to navigate with the conversations, at times, yes, things will be said that may need to be negative to activate and to activate one, so that they bring more of this out to the surface, what is in them, so that then once it's out in the surface, then there is the part of the process of the guilt and the shame they must go through, and they must bear it to rise above it. And this is part of rising to the modesty and humility stage that they will supersede later on individuals when they rise above the restriction of the humility. But every process, and it's unique to the individual. So there are general rules of thumb, but there's that customization because of the uniqueness of the individuals. And for I deal with all unique situations. I'll read the rest of what you have here. And yes, you asked, do you find your empathic and telepathic abilities offer you a unique advantage in bridging understanding? Yes, the answer is yes. and also, yes, much more with this. There is whatever wisdom, if you will, that is needed or required in any given time. It is either unlocked from my own knowing, or it's given instantly from mother and father with a direct communication to apply. Great.
Great. That's absolutely brilliant, brother. Let me just remove the questions from here. Remove. Well, brother, that was an honor and a half. Really appreciate your presence and your stand on that. And we look forward to another session at some point in the very near foreseeable future to invite you back, because you're always posting really great stuff out there, Rick. So yeah, we look forward.
Yeah, thank you. What I wish to say, most have an ascended master stereotype. They have Jesus stereotype, with the return of Jesus or the coming again. And, they're expecting a certain one because of what is written. But what I wish to say to all of your viewers, keep your mind very open. And it's because of what you're reading that you need to know that it's read from different perspectives as you go forward. And the truth could change on how you perceive what is written. But also, very importantly, everything is not written on the planet. For if it was, you would not be here, meaning that there is much more to know yet. And it's important to have the open mind and do not expect how one should be or how one should, let's say, act or appear as being an ascended master or one that is connected directly to Mother, Father, God. And having said this, I am not the only one upon the planet that is one, if you will, with Father. So there are more to come, and also, of course, Mother. So there are more to come.
Lovely, brother. Well, it's been an honor, and we look forward to having you back in the foreseeable future, and sending lots of love to you, to Fenka, to Romania, and to the rest of the planet. And we'll catch up soon, brother. Much love, much love.
Yeah. Much love, brother, and thank you. And have a beautiful evening and much peace. We got this.
Peace. Take care.
Bye now.
Bioactivator would
well,
like to
brother.
thank you
Much love.
for your kind support and donations. Through Barrett Tunian's guardianship of this platform, his activation of truth harmonizes, neutralizes, and unblocks the meridians that connect, balance, and purify all that comes in contact. Do no harm is the key that fully opens the heart's voice to be in the union of the I Am presence, and will represent every living organism on the planet whose voice would otherwise not be heard. Remember, the truth will set you free. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not impose upon the freedom of others. Love, light, and gratitude.